Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a drag and drop activity in Smart Notebook. So let me show you an example of what a drag and drop activity could look like. I'm going to set this slide to a full screen mode. And as you can see, I have most of the items on the slide here towards the bottom. It's because this is intended for a very young age group, pre-K and kindergarten. And these little guys can't reach very far. It helps when you have um, the little hand pointers you can buy at the book fairs. So first we read the book If You Give a Moose a Muffin by Laura Numeroff. It's a fun book. And then we look at these items. They're all from the book. And the students are to pick out the items that begin with the letter M sound. So for example, we have a ghost. The moose dresses as a ghost at one point in the book. If they're to try to drag this to the letter M sack, watch what happens. It spits it out because it doesn't belong there. Now, if they choose the moose and try to put it in the letter M sack, it goes inside. So there's so many things you can do with a drag and drop activity for all different ages of students. But the mechanics of it can seem a little tricky. But it's a lot simpler than it looks. So I'm going to start with I'm going to add a clean page. And now the first thing you want to do is add clip art or a shape or shapes that will serve as the destination where students are going to drag or drop items. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, I'll just say that I'm going to add a little heart here. And then I'm going to make a little trash can. I'm going to use the rectangle, make a little trash can. All right. So I'm going to have two different possible destinations for students to drag things. I don't want to add any more shapes, so I'm going to come up here and click my arrow button. And then I'm going to add some words here to make sure the students understand what these are for. And let's call this synonyms. And to make this word a little smaller so it'll fit on my heart, I'm going to grab this little dot here and I'm clicking and dragging it so it fits on my heart. And then over here, I still have the letter button selected, so I can still make text boxes. We'll call this antonyms. Drag this so we have the word all on one line, but make it a little smaller so it'll fit on the rectangle. Just to make this more fun. Oh, look at that. I'm still only making text boxes. I forgot to click my arrow button. There we go. I'm going to click this rectangle. I'm going to give it a light fill color. Make it a little more fun. I'm going to choose a gradient just for fun. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, that looks nice. All right. Now I don't want students to be able to move these elements around by accident. So I'm going to lock them down, the text boxes and the shapes. So I'm going to drag across all of these items until they're all selected. And I'm just going to right click anywhere on either of the two items. And select lock, lock in place. Now all of the items are locked down in one step. Now then, I'm going to have students drag synonyms and antonyms to these destinations. So let me put a single word as the referent here. Let's do something simple. How about the word big? I don't want the students to move this word around because this is going to be my the word I want them to refer to. So I'm going to lock it down. Here we go. And now then, I'm going to come up with some synonyms or antonyms of this word and just kind of scatter them around the screen. So how about large? And if you'll notice, I'm not going and clicking the letter button every time I need to type. I'm just, when you start typing on Smart Notebook, the words automatically go on the screen in a text box. So that's a quicker way to do it. Put some opposite words here too. All right, so I have 2 synonyms and 2 antonyms there. To keep it simple, I'll just leave it at that. So in this case, I'm going to have them drag words. Now, right now, when I click on these, you see this little handle button come up. That means if a student is playing with it, trying to drag it to a destination, they could accidentally make it huge. Haha. You don't want them to be able to do that. So I am going to click and drag across all of these words, and notice it's only selecting these 4. It's because I've already locked down big and all the items down here. I'm going to right click any of the words. Now I don't want to lock these in place. I want the students to be able to move them around. So I'm going to click Allow Move. Now they can move them without accidentally changing how they look. Mix these words up a bit. Okay. Now then, when I drag huge to the synonym heart, nothing happens. That's because I haven't set up the actual drag and drop function yet. To be able to do that, you come over here to the left side of the screen and click the puzzle piece. Now, if you are using a later version of Smart Notebook, such as the version available on campus, you're going to see a lot more choices here. The choice you want to select, though, is Activity Builder. All right, now I don't have any items selected here, so I'm going to start with synonyms. What you're going to do is you're going to click each of the items you want the students to drag elements to, and you're going to tell the Activity Builder what items it's allowed to accept and what items it's going to reject. So I'm just going to click this guy, and then we'll start with the heart. And then I'm going to go back. I went back to the puzzle piece, and I'm going to click Edit. Now you see here, there's a window on the top that says accept these items. And on the bottom, it says reject these items or objects. The easiest way to do this is to go up here to the top and click Add All Remaining. So you can see that the words that we've added are here. This is synonyms, so I want it to accept large and huge, but I want it to reject small and tiny. So I'm going to drag the word small down here and tiny, so that when students try to drag these words to the heart, it'll reject it. Now I need to click Done, and I'm going to go through the same steps with the antonym box. I'm going to select antonym and go back to my puzzle piece, click Edit, and I'm going to add all remaining. So basically, I'm going to do the steps in reverse. I want the antonyms box to be able to accept tiny and small, and then reject the words large and huge. And then click Done. All right, before you do anything else, you need to save your presentation. Just take the time to save it. And then after you've saved it, try out your activity to make sure it'll work. So let's see what happens if I try to drag the word small to the word synonyms. It rejects it. But when I drag it to the antonym box, it takes it. So that's a very simple way to do this activity. To get the words back where they were, you have to either use the undo button I just click the undo button twice to get small back where it was. Or you have to close out of your presentation and then tell Smart Notebook that you don't want to accept in the changes, or you don't want to save the changes. Now I will say, in this activity builder, I'm going to select the heart again. There's some fun things you can do with this while it's in edit mode. There's a settings area that'll allow you to add sounds. So if you have some sound files saved on your computer, wave files work really well. You can have sound effects happen when students correctly drag something to the heart. I've seen an activity someone created where they were sharing their likes and dislikes to students. It was a activity just like the one you're creating where they were introducing themselves to the students and sharing about themselves. Well, they had a likes and dislikes activity. And when students dragged things to the dislike activity, the dislike side, it made a blah sound. It was pretty funny. And then it made a sweet sound when, items got dragged to the like side. So you can have fun with the sound effect options. They can also do little animation moves too, if you want. So this can be as simple or as complex as you like. But either way, the students have a lot of fun because they're getting to come up to the smartboard and play with the items and engage with the material. So that was how you create a drag and drop activity on Smart Notebook.